crammed with strange and fascinating objects. Some are big enough for you to see with the naked eye, but others are so small you could fit 1,000,000 of them on the head of a pin. But without any doubt, one of the most fascinating groups of biological substances are the enzymes. This is a model of the molecule structure of one particular enzyme, and there's hundreds of others. People who know about this sort of thing, they describe enzymes as colloidal nitrogenous substances, which is all right, I suppose, if you're doing them for A-level. But we're interested in enzymes for quite another reason. Enzymes do some pretty extraordinary things. To start with, they occur in just about every living creature, animals, birds, even trees and plants. But always, they have one purpose in common. They help with the digestion of food. What they do is they break down food into simpler constituents, which the animal or plant then finds easier to absorb. Let's take a simple example of how enzymes help humans to digest. Now, there's a fair old amount of nourishment in this king-size sandwich, but how's your body going to absorb this whole great juicy mess into the bloodstream? Well, obviously, you're not going to be able to jam great big dollops of food like this smack into your arteries. So your body proceeds to break it down. Firstly, your teeth go at it, all along it. Then they hand the food on to the enzymes. Now, if you think of enzymes as being rather like a knife, they cut up the food into smaller pieces, making them easier to absorb. All the proteins and the starches and the fats that the sandwich is made of, they're all broken up into simpler substances, and your body can then settle down to a good nosh-up with no trouble. Now, this is actually what an enzyme looks like. And there's another point about them. They are gutsy little devils, always hungry, ready to tackle anything, which is going to be useful later. So, having isolated the enzymes and found out what they can do, how can we use them? Well, one thing we can do with them is to make a darn good washing powder. You see, in the normal way of things, powders are either all synthetic detergent or all soap powder. Each of them has certain advantages, which you can combine by making a mixture of both. But if we then add enzymes to that mixture, you get a very striking benefit. Your usual washing powders can remove ordinary grease and simple dirt quite easily. But when you get food stains as well, see, they're up the creek. They've just got no way of dealing with them. Now, if you have a mixture to which enzymes have been added, then do the same thing. You'll find very interesting. All the stains have been got out. At normal washing temperatures, about 60 degrees centigrade, you get this result in a quarter to half an hour. At lower temperatures, it takes longer. That's why soaking is recommended before washing. What happens to the stains? Well, what happens is this. Imagine this sandwich, like that, is a food stain, and I am the detergent, the ultimate detergent. Now, I want to eat this up, but I can't. The sandwich, or stain, is too big. Demonstrate, too big. See? But if we continue to think of this knife as an enzyme, something to break the sandwich up into smaller pieces that I can handle, then, you see, no trouble at all. A bit messy, but otherwise no trouble at all. And that is exactly what enzymes in washing powders do. They break up the big, awkward stains that the detergent can't handle into smaller stains that it can. And just as we use different knives for different jobs, we use different enzymes for different stains. Each enzyme acts only on its own particular stain, and they have no effect on colors or fabrics. So, by mixing up the soap powder and the detergent, then adding enzymes, we have a pretty useful washing powder. However, quite a big problem still remains. You see, enzymes, knives, for all their appetite, are fairly frail little things. They can be killed off from too much heat from the washing water, like that, or by too much acid or alkali from the powder, like that, so that when you come to use them, they don't work. Isn't that great? However, you can get over this problem by wrapping the enzymes up in a protective coat. This means that you can put a great deal of enzymes into the washing powder. Some of it will be destroyed, but there'll still be enough left to do the work you want it to do. So we've now got as far as a much better than average washing product. It washes clothes and it removes stains. However, and this is science fiction, full of however. However, what it's not all that good at is whiteness. But there's a trick to overcome this too. There are things called fluorescing agents. Now they're not insurance men who shine in the dark. They're ingredients which, when absorbed to the fabric, increase the amount of light reflected by it. They make fabrics whiter. But there's a snag. They have a chemical reaction with the washing powder. So up springs science again with an idea that no one else can copy. The fluorescent agents are put inside tiny soap granules, like the red bit in a stuffed olive. This protects them until they get into the wash and go to work. And there's a greater quantity of fluorescents put into this powder, about 50% more, than any other powder has previously had, which means more whiteness than ever before. And they've called this powder radiant, biological radiant. It removes biological and other household stains as effectively as any powder can, and then goes on to give the kind of whiteness that no other powder can match. Everybody loves those lovely enzymes.